Today I want to talk about trim size. Now, you might be thinking, trim size, like a haircut? No. In the self-publishing world, trim size is talking about the size of your print book. It's about how big your book is, and making this decision early in the formatting process is going to help you determine cost and your overall aesthetics. Hi, my name is Jennifer Gregson. I'm a young adult author and professional formatter who makes videos every Friday to help you, the indie author, navigate the self-publishing world. So most new indie authors don't realize, especially if they're going to publish a paperback or hardcover, how important trim size is. So today I want to show you examples of the three most popular sizes. This is one is my book, and I do all of my novels the same size, and the other two are books that I have formatted. So this is kind of exciting. You get a little sneak peek, and links to all of the books that I formatted are down below. So if you're like, oh, that sounds fun, you can grab it down below. So the three sizes are 5 by 8, 5.5 by 8.5, so 5.5 by 8.5, and 6.9. So this lovely book, here I'll hold it so you can see it, is a 5 by 8. This is what's kind of known in the publishing world as pocket size novel. This is a nonfiction book, but this is also really good for middle grade books, early young adult books. This is a really great size if your book is, not huge, right? Not like fantasy huge, but a decent size amount of words. Think maybe 50,000 to 70,000. This is a great size. It fits in a bag really well. It just looks nice. This is a great size. 5 by 8 inches. This is sort of that middle range. This is 5.5 by 8.5, 5.5 by 8.5. This is the size that I have chosen for all of my novels. You can find this size in the young adult. So if you sort of really are confused, Google your genre and sort of popular trim sizes. It's probably going to be one of these more often than not. I will talk about the next one in a minute though. This is the one I loved. Like I measured some of my favorite novels that I had at home, and this was sort of the average. This was the one that I like to hold, so this is what I chose. It gives you a little bit more room on the back for your information, your blurb. It gives more sort of real estate to have some prettiness, which is important to me. So that is a 5 by 5 by 8.5, 5.5 by 8.5. You're gonna hear both of those interchangeably. And then we have this big boy, 6 by 9. Now, this is a hardcover, so I think this is a really good size for hardcover. So if you're gonna do a hardcover version, this is a nonfiction book. Hold please so you can see the title and the author. This is also really good if you're writing memoir. This seems to be a very popular trim size for memoir, even in a paperback version. I have no paperbacks that are this size. I was gonna show you. I don't have any in my house, but, because this is kind of a chunky book, right? But great for hardcover. It gives you a lot of real estate to take notes, to have graphs and charts. Really, really good size. So aesthetic-wise, let's talk about that first. Think about what your genre is asking for, right? I think, like I said, this is really great for middle grade, young adult books. I think this is really good for young adult, women's lit, general contemporary fiction. And I think these really big books, it's like 6 by 9 is really great for fantasy, sci-fi. But again, you get to decide. But I would do a search. You can either go to a physical bookstore and you can look at the books that are in your house, the books that you like to read, the books that are in your genre, and measure. Just get a ruler, literally, where's my ruler? You can literally get a ruler and measure and see what it is. Super easy. And then you can make your decision that way. You can also just decide, do you write cozy fiction? Do you want a little cozy book that they can put in their purse and take with them? All of that is included. So just think about it, because it will affect when you get to formatting. It'll affect how things look on the page. It'll affect how many pages are in your book, right? So if I put this in my formatting software and change this from 5 by 8 to 5.5 by 8.5, it's going to change the number of pages. Maybe not by a lot, but it is. It's going to change the number of pages. So figure out what's important to you. That leads into the fact that this will affect cost. A smaller book, less money for the big bookstores to produce from their print on demand. If that's an issue for you, go to the websites and look it up. There's usually a list of their printing services and how much their print on demand takes on the back end. Look at that, really get a feel for it. These two are probably not going to be as much difference as if you go from this little size to the big size. These are going to jump up, especially a paperback versus a hardcover. That's really going to jump up. This costs more to produce. I found this was very middle of the road. I didn't mind how much the print on demand was going to take from my, bottom line, but you have to think about all these things as a business owner. Again, making the decision of trim size before formatting is super, super important. If you are in the middle of your second draft, don't think about trim size. But if you are getting ready to send your book to a professional formatter or you are looking at DIY options, now is the time. Think of the trim size first. You can, collect your front matter, collect your back matter, think about images, all of that. But really, this is sort of the big first decision that you need to make because it will affect how if you're sending it to a formatter, it's going to determine a lot about how they work with the software to make sure your book looks super good. And if you're doing it yourself, the same thing. You're going to need to make sure you get the right template if you're using a template-based system. So I would love to know, what trim size do you choose? Like if you've published before, what trim size are you choosing and what genre are you in? Like I said, young adult. I'm a young adult contemporary writer. These are all coming of age fictions. I picked the 5.5 by 8.5. I am currently writing an urban fantasy series, and I'm going to have to make the decision. Do I keep it the same size or not? I'm leaning toward yes, so that all of my books look the same on my shelf. But we'll see once I get there because they are going to be slightly thicker. These come in at 60,000 words. I'm really hoping the urban fantasy books to come in around 90 to 100,000 words. So we'll see. That might affect how it looks. So I might go up to a 6x9. Like I might go crazy. But that is sort of the first thing you have to decide. And I'm not there yet. I'm still in revisions, so we're good. But think about that as well. If you're writing a series, how is it all going to look on your shelf? You don't want to change trim sizes on the third book. I know we have all dealt with that, right? With traditionally published books, and you get to the fourth one and they've changed something and it just doesn't look right on your shelf. That is one of my biggest pet peeves if I'm buying something to display. So think about that. Make sure that it's the aesthetic you want before you start writing 5, 6, 8 books. So let me know if you have any questions about trim size that I didn't cover. Let me know if you want links to anything, if you can't find anything, or if you're having trouble Googling something, let me know and I'll do it for you and do another video. I make videos every Friday. So come back next week and let's talk some more. Happy writing.